It's February 21, 2026, and it's just approximately 10 p.m. I see that there is one person, but there's nobody in the live chat yet. I wonder who that one person is that's just listening. I'll wait for you to receive the notifications. Hi, Joe. Welcome, welcome. I saw your videos, your traveling videos. I don't envy the people that have to drive and are targeted along those highways and stuff. But I remember in New Jersey that all the people doing U-turns in front of me. Hi, Nike Slim. It was you. Hi. Oh, it was you. Hi. Welcome. I was thinking it's either, one of those cyber stalkers that I have. Hi, Coldfack. Welcome. I've been listening that the East Coast is getting a really bad cold snap. They might get 2 feet of snow in New York and New Jersey. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome. Hi, Julius. I wanted to watch Ryan Hall, y'all. He was mentioning something about some wild weekend that we were going to have. I know that the temperature is dropping here. It was like in the 60s, and then it's supposed to be in the upper 20s tonight. Welcome, everybody. I'm just going to go get my hot chocolate. I'll be right back.
You followed me across state lines. You really thought I'd run. Watch me, 30 years in Malapan, Jersey girl with perfect plans. Garden raising my daughter, healing cats with gentle hands. Astrology blog at midnight, Reiki light into the breeze. Masters and bachelors, both with honors, so the world would let me breathe. And they tied my name on a secret list, paid strangers to make me bleed. So I packed up everything I liked and drove south to be free. But freedom wasn't far enough. Now I'm on to the house, setting fires, be queen and talking. Got every other day I cross the Kentucky line. Drones in my stats, temperatures in my game. Forget this, I'm on deep and trying to see my read. But this soul's rooted deep in me. From another land to this mountain, fire trying to bury me. Baby, watch me rise, watch me glow. Watch me glow. Got helicopters buzzing, low surveyors I never hired. Fake lions on my title, threats in the mail just walk away. Retired every kidnapped bottle feed, every roll of corn I sold is another middle finger to the cowards hiding in the shadows. Calling love on YouTube every night, they thought they won't show. This farm is my fortress, my proof, my microphone. You double down in Kentucky, thought the country would swallow me whole. Joke's on you, I'm louder than ever, and I'm never letting go. Turning fire, steady freeze, counter rescue queen, they follow me in Kentucky and turn the war up 10 degrees. Orange feet to the courthouse, poison in my field tonight, but I'm still screaming truth beneath these Appalachian lights. You are my land, don't take it from these hands. You try to bury me, baby, watch me rise, watch me go. Remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. It's warming up in Canada. I earned every inch of this dirt with blood and sweat and grace. You can fake the papers, you can poison the well, but you never erase my face. This is for every targeted woman they try to make disappear. You're green with a hurricane, listen close, you feel that in the air. Yeah, Joe, they don't like it when we're positive. It pisses them off. They want us to be miserable like them. It is hard. It's really hard, especially when they're destroying your property. It's very hard. There's some days that are
harder or easier than others. Yeah, expectations are difficult, targeted or not, because when you have expectations, you're waiting for something to happen that may or may not transpire, and you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes something better than you expected will happen, or something unexpected will happen. So you just never know. There's divine intervention. Hi, JJ. Welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up when you guys come in. Yeah, those dash cam videos are interesting. I don't do much driving anymore. I haven't done any driving. It's not even a little bit. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, everything does feel suspect, because we know that we're being watched, we're being surveilled. Hi, Automat. Is a creepy voice back? Oh no. They must have renewed the creepies contract. The creepy voice is part of my harassment to harass everybody. It can be upsetting to some people. I've had some, subscribers say, "Oh, it's too annoying for them." And that's what they want. Which we try to ignore the creepy voice. I mean, I don't hear it during the live stream. I only hear it on the playback. But if you can remember to hit the thumbs up, I see there are 22 people, 9 thumbs up. I know that there is a group of my neighbors that are listening, and one cyber stalker. So yes, it is. It is difficult to believe that there are so many tentacles, so many octopi, so many octopus pusses, and they are pusses. um, they're paying a guy snore. Yeah. Well, I think that the creepy voice, it's mechanical, because it seems to say the same thing over and over again. And I have a subscriber that doesn't get into the chat, but listens in, who gets V2K, and says that, she can almost understand what it's saying sometimes. Like there was one time it actually said my name on my porch. On my porch camera, it said my name. It's like it said Rolling. And then you can hear another creepy voice on the short that I posted. I guess it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, when they dumped the grenade on the property. And at the end of the video, you can hear this like creepy voice, like laughing, like it's like ha ha ha. A signal interface. You technical people probably know better. It kind of reminds me of those machines that they use. What is it called? When you go into a club and you want to sing along. I forget what it's called. You want to sing along with a song. And sometimes the microphone distorts the voice so that there's like an echo, a weird echo. Karaoke, that's it. Karaoke. But there's a karaoke machine where when you speak into it, you can distort your voice. Tone deaf. Hi, 421. Hi, con artist. Welcome, welcome. I wasn't sure if you were getting here. You're usually the first one in the chat. Anybody in the chat live on the East Coast? Hi, user. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Lindsay. North Carolina, Virginia. Hi, Toward the Terra. Welcome. Texas. Hi, welcome, Texas. Well, we all know that we're here in Kentucky. But I heard people talking that New York and New Jersey are going to get a really bad snowstorm. They're preparing for snow, like 2 feet of snow. When New York City gets that much snow, it's a disaster. Hi, Little Matt. Yeah, if anybody is in the chat, I received a bunch of emails today that I haven't responded to yet. Some of you guys have sent me links to videos, and some of them, one of them is it's very long. I think I saw it already, but I'll have to look into it again. I listened to, I don't know if you guys know Hope Girl, Hope and Tivon Rivers. They're in Morocco. They're targeted in Morocco. They create the shungite pendants, etc. Well, I'm on her mailing list, and she sent an email with a telegram, and I think if I play it, you won't be able to hear it. Let's see if I've got the link here, if I can give this to you. So what it was she was talking about Sabrina Wallace. Let's see if I can find it here. I'll post the link in the chat. Claiming that she's a government agent or something like that. I don't know. I haven't done any research about it. Did you all see my question about rerouted calls? I did not see. Let me scroll up here. I was looking for the link. I know. It could be. Sabrina Wallace is on Odyssey and Rumble, mostly. She does have, or she did have a YouTube channel. She's a network engineer. And she was talking about the body area network and how we all have MAC addresses, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, I like that one, Nike Slim. The Scariest Movie Ever channel. They make great videos. Yes. Oh, I don't remember that one. That specific one. Compilation of testimonies of TIs. but that's a good channel. Yeah, targeting is going mainstream. Well, what the message that Hope Girl said was it was only like um 5 minute video voice recording. I was going to record it for you guys and upload it, and I just got busy doing other things. I might still do it because it's such a short video, but I think short audio. But I think if I even play it here, I don't think you get to hear it. Now, before I continue, can you hear that? I just started playing the voice video from Hope Girl, but I think what happens is I think high forethought, I think what happens is that you can't hear when I play videos on the laptop, you can only hear them if I play it through my phone. Let's see, they're putting voices in people's head, which is a compilation of targeting testimonies. I don't know who you're talking about, who had a stream. There's a video of a lady, Hispanic looking, saying that she worked for a church doing gang stalking and explaining her methods. I know, it is a nightmare. Oh, okay. I did not see anything that he posted today. The dog woo. It's this. It's oh dog woo Medico Ltd. Yeah, I haven't viewed anything yet today. And what I've noticed is on my phone, the alerts that I get, I'm not getting alerts for everybody. I don't remember seeing an alert of a video posted by him today. Although I am on, he also has a Substack. He's got a Facebook, a Substack, a Twitter. Let's see. I agree, Jonathan. John, the best thing to do is expose the targeting and show people that we're guinea pigs for the digital ID rollout. Yes. Hi, Tony. Welcome. Nobody wants to lose their tongue. I doubt it. Yes, I was thinking that the sounds like they're subliminal. They're subliminal messages. I just can't decipher them. I don't. You know what? I'm not going to spend time even thinking about what it is that they're saying. But that's probably exactly what they're doing. It's like an experiment to see if we hear it, if it affects us somehow. More and more people are talking about targeting. Yes, exactly. They try to get into your head. The noise sounds like a dull saw blade trying to cut through wood. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. I was going to post another video today, and then I just got so busy doing other things, and then distractions, washing clothes, washing dishes. That's creepy voice gargling. Yeah, that's the creepy voice. That's what we call him, the creepy. Exactly. They really do not want you to leave, which is not typical. They know what we can awaken our minds. Of course, they're banking on us. They're banking on me for sure. And they figure, well, the only way she's going to get to sell her house, because now they've totally destroyed the grass, the porches. It's just they have destroyed so much. Like even my asphalt driveway, they planted all this moss all over it. None of what's happening here is normal. It's not naturally occurring. They're digging holes everywhere. Oh, I'm not seeing Tortured Parsons. Is he here? I'm not seeing the messages. Maybe he's not a subscriber. You have to be a subscriber. And if you're not a subscriber and you click subscribe, it's going to take 10 minutes. Oh, he is. I'm not seeing him. That's so weird. I don't see him at all. I wonder why that is. Hi, City of Fullerton. Welcome. Oh, see, you don't see him either. You got the global shadow ban. That is so weird. I do not see him. So other people don't see him either. But Joe, you can see him? That's so weird. Yeah, I was watching his video earlier today. And by the way, anybody that's in the live chat, if you have a YouTube channel, now is the time to post a link to your channel in the chat. Because I have it set up and YouTube doesn't like URLs in the comments section under videos. So if you've got a URL for your channel, post it in the chat. Oh, I see. No, thank you, Joe. I must have missed it. Hi, Joshua. Welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up when you guys come in. So I was listening to The Ethical Hacker And he did a short, and he was saying that everybody should have a Verizon hotspot. He said if you have a Verizon hotspot, you can use it as like a stingray. It will detect people interfering with your Wi-Fi and your phone. Yes, there are a lot of airplanes, helicopters, and stuff. There's just so much action going around the country, around the world. There's just too much going on. I don't even want to listen to the news anymore. There's always something horrible happening. It is embarrassingly unfortunate that we continue to allow this to happen. Yeah, they just won't let us leave. Exactly. I don't know if there's anything like on a monthly basis, but I looked on eBay because that's where he said he got his. So they're ranging from like 12.99 to $50. There's a lot of 60 of them. If you want to buy 60 of them for $650. Some are 13.99. One is, there are a couple of them that are pre-owned. One is an open box for $20. Verizon Unlimited Data Hotspot, Rural Internet Solution for $399. No data caps, no throttling, use all you want, brand new. I should buy one because the internet here is ridiculously expensive. And that's all I get. I don't even get a landline. I would just have to figure out how all this works, which is not my forte. I don't like playing with technology. It just takes me too long. It takes me hours, actually. It'll take me all day, and I won't get anything done. I know, toward the terror, it's just overwhelming. Yes, I know. I'm looking at that right now. If you want, let's see. I'll post the link. Um, you can check it out for yourself. Better hurry up and buy it because my criminal neighbors are listening, and they'll end up buying it. Hi, Tony. They should be a step-by-step modding guide. You just have to flash the device with a custom firmware. Yes, yes. Nike says recently there was a firefight in Flagstaff, Arizona, with police and a helicopter went down. They said it was due to maintenance failures, but they won't say who they were fighting with. These days, when I hear a lot of news, you just have to wonder: is it really happening, or is it just another psyop, something that they contrived? Oh, Automat, if you find that channel, you can post it here. I don't know. I don't know if there's a monthly fee. Yes, yes. Wasn't one of my videos shown on TV cause of my neighbors? Yes, on Neighborhood Wars on A&E, April 11, 2023. Yes. Yeah, we like to make the neighbors popular. They want my attention, right? So we have to make them popular. Popular. We make them popular because they seem to be very interested in poop. Let's see, what is that on my channel? Oh, no, no. I don't have TV. If you have Netflix, not Netflix, what is it? Cable. You have to have cable. I guess when you have cable, you get a code, and then you'd be able to watch it. One of my friends downloaded it for me, but the link doesn't work anymore. It's not exactly as accurate as I wanted it to be either. Oh, that, yeah. John says they probably get gift cards for gang stalking, like people fresh out of jail or on an early out. How was it knowing my video went viral? You mean my neighbor? that was actually that was actually the most viewed video on my channel at one time, and then there were a couple of others um, that that were more viewed. I'm not exactly sure how the hotspot works or whatever, but I think it's a good idea to get one in case the power goes out. Some of the psyops are absolutely absurd. I'm going to tell you what they did the other day, because what I get, when you don't have pets and you don't live like where I live. So what they do is obviously they watch my habits and my schedule and stuff. So they decided they were going to take some cat food, wet cat food, canned cat food, on a dish and place it on the floor where I'm sitting right now. Yeah, so they decided they were going to do that. They spread feces and urine all over the cat's building. It only seems to appear overnight. And then after I clean it up, it's fine all day long, like all day long. I pulled a turtleneck, a new turtleneck, out of the dryer today, folding it up, and they sliced under both armpits. Tour of the Terrace says, I was planning on going for a day trip, but there was an ice storm and the roads were like a skating rink, so I just stayed in my truck overnight. Everybody who drove by me looked insane. You have to be insane to drive in an ice storm. Oh yes, the possum. Oh, I know that poor possum. Oh, they've done things with possums. They drowned a possum in the county creek and left him there for me. I think it was last year. Yeah, they drowned the possum. Hi, Cat. Oh, you're a spellbreaker. 3333. Oh, that's cute. Welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up. Oh yeah, they love to do stuff with animals. Like stuff them in the mailbox, gut them on the driveway, push a dead deer down the steep hill here. Oh, you were going to go shopping during the snowstorm. Well, it depends on how far away the store is. If it's not that far away, you can, probably get there and back in time without getting snowed in. When I lived in New Jersey, Wegmans was literally within walking distance, but you always drove because you couldn't carry your groceries home. So yeah, I would go out during the snowstorm. In fact, during uh, Hurricane Helene, not Hurricane Helene, uh, during the hurricane, I'm not remembering it right now. During the hurricane, people were waiting on long, long lines just to get coffee at Wegmans. It was amazing. Sandy, Hurricane Sandy. How could I forget? It was horrible. Yeah, I did not like the ice here. It was not. It was no fun having a sheet of ice here. I've never seen it like this. But I think it was that bad because I don't have grass anymore. They've killed most of the grass. Yeah, they do weird stuff with that. They're Satanists. These are sick people. I love Wegmans. It was great. What a great store. And the prices were not bad at all. So let's see. What should I read tonight? Yes, yes. Okay, so Julia says there's an MK Ultra survivor named Kathy O'Brien. Yes, we know her well. I have a couple of her books. Who says the goal was mind control? The idea being that trauma shuts down neural pathways. It makes a person susceptible to being easily controlled. Well, that's why they do it to, young people in these satanic families. They usually do it by the age of 7 years old. And I don't know if you saw that I posted a link to a 2002 MK Ultra movie. So there was a movie directed in 2022 about MK Ultra. It's really spooky, very spooky. But it shows you how psychiatrists and medical doctors are brought into the program, how they're coerced, kind of bribed. So I posted a link to that in on the community page under posts. They like to split your personality as well with early trauma. Well, what it does is when they create so much chaos, it becomes very difficult to make a decision because you have too much information coming in from all different angles and you're not able to process the chaos, too many of them at one time. You shut down. It becomes overwhelming. And then you need to take a break. Oh no, I'm not talking about a hotspot on the phone. I'm talking about a device, a little device that you pay for extra. But what he was saying, what this ethical hacker was saying, is it's not just for the hotspot. That this thing can notify you if people are on your phone, if they're on your Wi-Fi. I believe you're right, Cold Fact. That's why many people turn to vices to cope. Exactly. Let's see, she also said the MK Ultra program is continued for multiple generations. The trauma from one generation carries to the next, and trauma is cumulative. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Inherited trauma. Well, it gets genetically coded because trauma changes the brain. Trauma changes your brain, it changes the central nervous system. Okay, so that by the third generation, the TI can easily be controlled with little effort. Maybe the way to break MK Ultra is to be multilingual. Hmm. Well, that's a possibility. I'm terrible with languages. Bad. Like really bad. Um, let's see. These bioresonance frequency disruptors to make you mad. If you're mad out of nowhere, that's what they're using to extend to contract. Hi, Amy. Welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up when you guys come in. Kathy O'Brien's experience explains why some TIs are targeted from birth. Yeah, I don't feel like I've been targeted from birth. I mean, I had a pretty good life before all this nonsense. Yes, that's why you sometimes get mad and frustrated for some reason, for no reason, because they're harassing you. Hi, Shadow Band, welcome. Well, I found out that my father was targeted, my full biological brother, and my half biological brother. We're all targeted. Hi, Mrs. Emerge, welcome. You were born in 84, started in 87. Wow. Oh, that's horrible. Oh my goodness. The V2K stopped with me. Good. That's good. Kat says, I was traumatized in ninth grade by my French teacher. I got a D in that class and I'm an A student. I did make multiple attempts to learn it later in life, but I could never be fluent. I wish. Oh, I was just so bad. I took Italian and I like nearly failed Italian. Except that like the next year my Italian teacher was like in love with me. And then he gave me an A in the class. He asked me to the school prom, and I intentionally didn't go because he scared the shit out of me. I thought he was going to be one of those pedo guys, going after a teenager like me. Oh my goodness, that would be horrible. Let's see. Hi, Jerry. Welcome. Jerry was baptized by the Catholic Church, Jeremiah. But the town hall changed my name to Jerry. My mom was mad about that and changed my full name, Gematria, from 216 to 223. Yeah, I was baptized by the Catholic Church too. What do you get? I didn't have a choice in the matter. Oh, you went to foster homes. I'm just reading multiple conversations going on here. Yes, yes. My father's family is Italian. My father was the only child born in the United States. Everybody else was born in Italy. All of his brothers and sisters were born in Italy. My grandparents too. Let's see. I think targets would never have left the matrix if they did not understand a big part of it is language. Well, it's so interesting that you say that because and he says all of the evil and torture and humiliation is through language. Well, one of our subscribers, actually I haven't spoken to in a while, moved out of this country to an Asian country. I won't say where, but an Asian country. And he says that pretty much his gang stalking totally stopped there. And he thought it was a language issue. But he still gets um the satellite harassment and stuff like that. But yeah, so he says that he doesn't get the gang stalking there. And he believes it has to do with the language. So you could be onto something there. JJ was baptized by a Christian church too. Yeah, well, I guess we all were. Let's see. The Who MK Ultra started because the CIA noticed that Korean War prisoners of war, were completely loyal to the Communist Party doctrine. Yeah, most of the target is theater, but it's so annoying. You just want to be left alone. And it's one harassment after the next, after the next, after the next. It's like, you want to be able to wash your clothes and fold them up and for them to be exactly the way they were, when you pulled them off your body, not with holes underneath your arms. Yeah, Colfax says, I heard Thailand was safe. A few people. Absolutely. I heard that from a few people. And when I was on TikTok, there were several people that were speaking out about packing up their families and moving to Thailand. Oh, John doesn't get the gang stalking anymore since you have threatened them in the store. It is traumatizing. I mean, it's all traumatizing because you know what your life was like before. Well, at least I do. And I know that I did not grow up with this kind of chaos. When you said it's theater, instantly I thought of the Truman Show. I did not know about the Truman Show until I became targeted, and I think maybe it was 2 or 3 years ago. I'd never seen it. We are all Truman Burbank. I know, isn't it horrible? Automat says, I noticed I have programmed responses. I wonder what else they have in there too. Sometimes they can do a forced speech thing where they force words out of your mouth that you had no intention of saying. And I guess they think it's funny that they do that. It's just hilarious. While they're sitting there, behind their joystick and their little computer screens and laughing, giggling, and snorting coke and whatever it is that they're doing behind there. It is messed up. And whistleblowers have come forward. Even Brian, what was it? Brian Coffrin said that the worst part about it is that the people in charge of these weapons, the people in charge of this technology, are so unethical, so immature, so off the charts. They're getting high while they're doing it, laughing and giggling. They're not even taking their job seriously. And there's no oversight. Nobody's watching what they're doing to make sure that they're even doing it correctly. And they don't even care if it's done correctly or not. Yes, that's a good point. They have a God complex. Well, and you know what? Where does that stem from? Narcissism. Hi, Michael Porter. Welcome. You know, you would not be the first person that has suggested that. Michael says, I believe the VA did this to me using remote neural monitoring and all the harassment as a U.S. veteran. Yes, they target veterans. They absolutely do. And there are other veterans on YouTube speaking out about this. Well, you know, I would not be surprised if Brian Coffrin, Justin Carter, whatever his real name is in hiding. He should be. I mean, talk about letting the cat out of the bag. I mean, his videos were invaluable. I mean, I listened to his videos over and over and over again just to get it. Like it wasn't computing that this actually happens. Yeah, everyone is in the system. And you know, there are so many YouTube creators that have passed away from really bizarre illnesses. And after looking back on their channels, you know, I was not subscribed to them. I started watching some of their videos, and it became so obvious that they're targeted. They didn't even know it. Jamie, I don't know a lot of these people. Jamie from a Planet Truth. Oh, I remember Planet Truth. Um, I think Planet Truth converted into something else. And remember Project Camelot? Whatever happened to those people? And then there was the targeted nun. Think that was maybe in 2018, who disappeared. Shadowban says, I've been targeted my whole life and didn't even know it until recently. Well, at least you know now. At least you know now. Carrie, yes, Carrie Cassidy. That's her name. I didn't realize she's still around. Oh, Jamie died? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, Deborah Tavares is good. She's still around. And then Tony Pantelleresco doesn't post anymore. Shadow says, my whole life was a lie. My marriage was even arranged and I didn't know it 3 kids later. So, well, you know what? You can't beat yourself up over it. You know, it's like it coulda, woulda, shoulda. You know, the scariest movie ever channel did another completion years ago. Strange deaths. He mentioned holistic doctors who started passing away all of a sudden. Yes, I remember that. I remember that. Oh, he has a Substack. Thank you, Vicky. Welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize he had a Substack. I'll have to look for it and subscribe. Colfax says, yeah, mine too. I was married for 10 years and had 4 kids with an infiltrator. I don't know. Like, I have to wonder if my ex-husband was also. I just don't know. I don't even want to think about it. Michael Porter says, I feel maybe a corrupt private investigator is involved. I literally leave my place and I have people sitting on a hill with headlights waiting for me to pull out. Oh, okay. Tony Pantaleresco left Canada. Okay. Yeah, he's got great videos up there, but when I look at his channel, I don't see new videos. Okay, so he's in the States. Maybe. Amy says, I used to say that my husband was a robot. Was correct, totally controlled. Hi, Techno Kid, welcome. Techno Kid says, you ladies should talk to my mom because she doesn't see it, that he is her handler. Oh my goodness, that you're not going to be able to convince her of that. Welcome, Techno Kid, welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up. Let's say I always wondered if my exes were actors. I don't know how people can just leave someone all of a sudden, and then and then when you are each other's first time, it's been years. Sometimes I still think of her. Well, you know what occurred to me? You know the whole Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk situation? And now we find out that Erica Kirk's mom um, is like a contractor for the government. Yeah, you Techno Kid, you cannot talk to her when she's enveloped in that. The only thing you can do when she's in that situation is just support her. So Forethought says, really the only solution, I live the dream by changing your language. Raytheon. Oh, I know somebody else whose family member works at Raytheon. Hi, Pamela. Welcome. And at least I know what Pamela looks like because she sent me a photo today. Thank you. Let's see, what should I read today, guys? I have so many books here, and usually before the live stream, I'll comb through some books and decide what I'm going to read. I didn't have time to do that today. Let's see. Julie says, now that I think of it, my dad was probably a TI. Hi, TG. Yes, the creepy voice is there. We ignore creepy. Creepy is just like on autopilot over and over and over again. They did something to change Tony P and Brian 396. Well, that's funny because my brother said that there was a time that my father, I guess he was in New York or whatever, and then came back home to Pennsylvania, and that he was different, that he was never the same. So they're doing something. They're doing something. They're breaking into people's homes. They're doing shit to people. Tony Tunes. So it seems like most of the targeted people I've spoken to have been married for 10 years or more. Brian, what Brian are you talking about? Let's see, the channel Creighton Wright News was live tonight talking about how he was a Canadian military and he has many old co-workers and family who are developing diseases and cancers and dying. Oh, bro, I don't know I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Oh, did you mean Brian 2? Brian 2 is not Brian 369. Yeah, Brian 2 is a DOD contractor. Yes. I never knew it either, Colfax. I mean, I was a naive, non-voter, non-political person just going about my life. I didn't know there was anything called gang stalking. I didn't know there was, that they were still experimenting on Americans. I thought they only experimented on people in prison or foster care or mental health facilities. I was wrong. Brian is your sister-in-law's boyfriend? I know, I know. Colfax says, I used to think I was pretty smart and well read. I knew nothing. Same here. I was reading the wrong books. So no, I was reading the right books, but I wasn't reading outside of the books that I was interested in. I did not care about reading anything about politics or anything. Although before I moved, I bought a book on the CIA because I had no idea what they actually did. And I was horrified. Yeah, this stuff is diabolical. But I'd rather know the truth than live in ignorant bliss like normal people. A cat, if you have a channel, post a link in the comment section. Anybody that has a YouTube channel, feel free to post a link so that we can follow you guys. It is amazing that these people have so much time to do this. Why? They're on the payroll. Normal people who have real full-time jobs don't have time to meddle in other people's affairs. And they don't care. Tony and Brian were the first to help I found out about Morgellons. Oh, actually, Skizit Powers was the first person. Her videos are still up there on Morgellons. No, I think you can post your link here. You can't post the link in a comment section under a video, but you can post it here. Always prioritize your real language. Yes, that's true. Maggie Slim, normal people are now having a hard time dismissing a lot of truthers due to the files released. Even families are starting to see now. Yes, Skizit was like 14 years ago, but she has a website. It's called Targeted Humans. TargetedHumans.org, I believe. Oh, they definitely do a lot of subliminal messages, and I think that the creepy voice is a subliminal message. I can't hear, I don't know what he's saying, but I don't really care. Yes. Joe says, what I'm seeing everywhere now is that the conspiracy theorists were right after all. Absolutely. Nobody wanted to believe it was true. It was so fantastical, it was so off the charts. Didn't believe the technology existed. Well, I hate to say that there's technology out there that I'm sure that even as targeted people we don't know exists. That's being used on us. We just haven't figured it out yet. Yes, they do ruin food. How do I handle it? Oh my goodness. Sometimes I wrap food. Sometimes I throw it out. If I detected that it's been damaged, I just throw it out. Just like I was folding up my laundry, and I have two holes under a new turtleneck, under the armpit, and a hole smack in the middle of my panties. So I threw out the panties, and now I'm going to have to sew up the holes underneath my arms. Yes, Joe says my favorite phrase couldn't be more relevant right now. The truth is stranger than fiction. They can intentionally rot, mold food. They jab it, they slice it, they cut it. They can cause a white fungus on your food. If you have food that is powder, like a powdery food, and you open it up and you'll see like little balls in it, that they threw some kind of a liquid in it to cause the powder to coagulate in little clumps. It costs more money, but you can buy individually wrapped coffee, individually wrapped tea, individually wrapped like cookies and bread stuffs, and again, it just costs a lot more money to buy things individually wrapped. I know and it's so expensive. Everything is so expensive. Yes, cold narcissists enjoy the feeling of control when they make someone suffer. Well, these are sick, depraved people because normal people, healthy people, emotionally and psychologically healthy people want to support other people. You want I want to see people grow. I want to see people happy. I want to see people accomplish something. So I will feel happy for somebody when they're accomplishing something. Oh, yeah, you have to watch the water. You know that since I moved here, I have never drank the tap water. Never. Aliens. I don't believe there are any aliens. I think the only aliens are the ones that the government creates, and they don't know what to do with them, so they just let them loose into the forests, and they do all kinds of weird experiments on people, with animals and people, and those are the aliens. I don't know. And they do have these weird breeding programs. That's the aliens. Our government, whatever our government is doing, is they're creating aliens. Let's see. Michael says, I pissed off a 33rd degree Masonic government employee that's a social worker. I had nothing but good intentions towards this guy, but once I disconnected, life became a hell. Oh, yeah, they don't like when you disconnect from them. They get infinitely wounded. It doesn't take much to piss off a narcissist. All you have to do is breathe the wrong way. They'll take it personally. You're breathing the wrong way. Oh, you looked at me. If you're talking about somebody else, they think you're talking about them. That's what. Oh, yeah, I could smell the chlorine. Absolutely, I smell the chlorine in the water. Like as soon as I moved here, it's like, oh God, this is disgusting, and my hair felt like straw. Oh, thanks, Joe. The video is he posted a link to a video that when a narcissist realizes that you're spiritually protected, I get all of that, all of that. They've been targeting my eyes like crazy. For 9 months last year, all my eyes did was water. It was horrible. And it was after I had an eye doctor appointment. It was like a few days after the eye doctor appointment. For 9 months. They make my cats nauseous. I'll be in the cats building and they'll be fine, they'll be asleep, and then suddenly you could see them get targeted while they're eating, while they're sleeping. It's disgusting what they do. Yes, a blurred vision. Well, the blurred vision can also be from the nanotechnology in the body. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they contaminated your eye drops. That's certainly a possibility. So, Forthart, when you're speaking about language, are you speaking about like one's usual method of speaking before they became targeted? They mess with toothpaste too? Yes, I have that, the constant ooze and the nose drip. Yep. Do you know that's cerebral fluid leakage? Yeah, the fasting does make you feel better. Yep. So it gets in your eyes, your runny nose, your skin is thin, bleed easily, bloody gums every day, leave the house from toothpaste. Pamela says, I'm so active, it's hard to fast often, but definitely feel better afterwards. Yes. Well, there's something also called intermittent fasting where you fast only for a certain number of hours before you eat again, like allowing 12 hours to pass without eating anything. Fourth, it says they target you because you know. I don't know. I have to tell you that when I became targeted, I knew nothing. I didn't know anything. Oh, not because you said something they didn't like, just because you know something. They don't like that you speak intellectually. Well, I'll tell you something that when I took my neighbors to court, I don't even remember the word. I was just speaking the way I usually speak. The judge had to ask me what it was that I said. He didn't understand my language. And I'm thinking, how does a judge not understand vocabulary? I was just so bizarre. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. That's a good point, Julius. And my mother said that. I couldn't even believe that came out of my mother's mouth. Julius says, "You don't have to know anything. Their goal is to create a Manchurian candidate who can be completely controlled, a human robot." They will interfere with your master's degree. You know what they did with mine? After I completed it and moved to Kentucky, they actually stole my framed master's degree. They stole it. Oh, the creepy guy is getting loud. That usually means that they don't like the conversation. That's what it seems to be like when we get on a topic or start discussing something that they don't like. That the creepy voice increases in sound. You detox with papaya seeds and you feel better. That's so interesting that you say that because I just found my papaya seeds. I had them in a little bag in my kitchen and they got stuck in between other little bags and I just found them a couple of days ago. They're very bitter. You think the judge was gaslighting me? That judge was an asshole. He was just another go along to get. It was like a kangaroo court. Oh, that's interesting. He was gaslighting you into incompetence so he could necromance. That's interesting because he only read a small portion of the anti-stalking law in Kentucky. He completely ignored the federal stalking law statutes and guidelines. And he refused to give me a restraining order against my stupid neighbors. Yeah, that's that's funny, Michael. For anybody that's just listening, he has like these little kangaroos on the screen here. Let's see. I think it triggers people when you speak the same language, even a simple hello. If you look into law books, it's based on maritime law, basically words that based around water. Right, right. So its own language that way. Yes, yes, yes. I watched a lot of videos. There's this one guy that explained it really well. Uh, um, the Justinian Deception. I think that's what it was called. Yes, Justinian Deception. He's not on very much anymore. I think his partner got targeted from his videos, and he explained it really well about the maritime language. Like, so when you're born, you're birthed. Like, I never thought about like I'm birthed, and birth is spelled, the other birth is Berth. He also explains the Chicago style manual. Manual. And currency is current of the sea. Yes. See, we need to be taught that. There need to be more classes about that. Fourth Art says don't talk to these people at all is what I'm saying. It's better if you don't. Oh, I don't speak to any of my neighbors. That's how you become a part of the cult. No, I do not speak. I do not speak to these people. They stalk my channel though. So there are 28 thumbs up right now, and I know at least 5 people, 5 subscribers just listen. But then what about the other rest of those people? I think it's that female cyber stalker who's been hunting me down since 2024. She's definitely listening in here. And then a couple of my neighbors, because they have nothing else to do on a Saturday night. Well, there are absolutely times you have to speak. Well, unfortunately, we have to communicate with each other. And in order to communicate, especially through like the chat, we have to speak. We have to type. We have to write. I mean, that's what we have to communicate. It's like, we're not Bebbles and Pebbles and Bam Bam anymore. Well, yeah, that's true. They have a way of scaring people to shut them up. I'm not stopping, and I do not consent. Well, I'm of the same mindset. I'm of the same mindset. Well, I actually don't have to speak to my neighbors because I don't live. I actually don't live near them. Like in New Jersey, like the houses were so close together, it was almost impossible to not run into somebody just walking out your front door. Michael says, the funny thing is, I go into a recovery meeting at the VA, and the gang stalking veterans are sitting right across. Me, the targeted veteran. Oh, it just seems to be very, very common that veterans are targeted. Yeah, I agree with that. User says stay away from that VA if you can. Well, I'm sure there are things that happens to each and every one of us that we just don't discuss with anybody. Oh, Pamela, you're a veteran too. There are a lot of veterans that are targeted. And there are also a lot of ex spouses of law enforcement and military that became targeted after they divorced. You're absolutely right, JJ. If we don't tell our stories, no one will ever know. Yeah, it's the what we experience individually is just so off the charts, and some of what they do is so nefarious and so it's just it's such a psyop, and it's intentionally designed, like to make you go crazy, to make you doubt your reality. Some of the stuff they do here is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They literally pull urine out of the air. They did this in New Jersey too, and it's like it's absurd. So Fourth Art says, "Don't waste your time being threatened by these English cults." I don't waste my time. I'm not threatened. I think they're ridiculous. And they're just ridiculous. Has anyone read The Ringling Cedars of Russia? So much intel in those books. No, I have not. I'm not familiar with that book. Let's see. Non-appropriated instrumentality of the Department of Defense, Title 5. I think it's 2105C. So what is that? What is that Title 5? Michael says, I saw a DOD plate in front of me and a car with a state of where I was born. Both assholes were laughing in their rear view mirrors. Yeah, they like playing games with license plates to let you know that they're following you. And they'll have a letter or a number or word or whatever to indicate that they're stalking you. Like one of my neighbor's vehicle had the license plate number reads 732, which is my former area code. Hi Fred, welcome. They're paid to be assholes. Oh, you mean they're not like that naturally? I think they only pay them if they are naturally like that. They're just really bad actors all around. Oh, oh, user says he saw a license plate, the last four of your social security number. That's interesting. Okay, so let's see. Fred says, when the owners of this program, Peter Thiel, who appears cocaine induced in every interview, talks about killing people for business. I know he's scary. He's a scary guy. Automat says buy a Bluetooth mic. Try something. Anyone have their credit reports show that you're deceased? I haven't seen that yet. No, I haven't. That's scary. In New Jersey, when I pulled my credit report, there was another Lorraine Valenti, allegedly. There was another Lorraine Valenti in New Jersey who had really like a lot of debt or whatever, and that came on to my report. So I had to get her off of my report. And then I didn't realize I was targeted at the time. So it's possible that they intentionally did that. No. Kat says, what are the odds that Peter Thiel anagrams to the reptile? Is that right? Wow. If you switch Peter's full name around, it will spell the reptile. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Does that mean like do you think he's the Antichrist? Is that who that is? That's so interesting. Well, 30 minutes ago, I received an alert here that I'm subscribed to the a number games. Rest in peace, salsa legend Willie Colon, gone shortly after Bad Bunny's Super Bowl 60 halftime performance. He does. I don't listen to him. I've saw him interviewed a couple of times, and he looks like a cold fish. I mean, he's getting rich off of these programs. K. Vicky says, "Do you think the new prisons are for the innocent or for the guilty government and other perps?" I haven't given it any thought. I don't know. Anybody want to chime in on that one? Remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in, guys. It shows that there are 30 thumbs up and 52 watching. But although the other the other bunch could be the perpetrators, cyber stalkers, and the neighbors. Oh, that's interesting. The scariest movie ever had a stream on his second channel showing thermal imaging of a royal guard having no body heat, but everyone else did. I wonder if he was a robot. But maybe he was a robot. The stock market is over 50,000. Reptiles are cold-blooded and probably don't produce a thermal image. Oh, you were number 33. That's your number. You hit you hit the thumbs up and you turned it to 33. Okay, somebody's got to hit that thumbs up again so that it turns to 34. Anybody like the fact that when you walk outside, vehicles zoom out of nowhere? Oh, that happens here. I'm like literally in the middle of nowhere. How is that going to happen? Well, on that note, about 33, maybe I'll read from. I was going to read something from Guinea Pigs, Technologies of Control, but maybe I'll pull my book, The Masonic Fuckery and the Girl Born on Friday the 13th. Let's see. Let's see what little tidbits I can find in here. Let's see. Okay, so basically in this book, there are a lot of testimonies, victim testimonies. Let's see if there's anything else I can find here. Yeah, get a dash cam. Absolutely get a dash cam. If you're a driver, if you're driving back and forth to work, if you do a lot of driving, you absolutely have to have a dash cam if you're targeted. Even if you're not targeted, you need a dash cam. Your phone number ends in 3333 for 22 years. I asked for it and it was unavailable. I'm grandmothered in at $5. Oh, $5 a month. Oh my goodness. Do dash cams work when your car is not running? Of course they do. Oh, well, wait a minute. Usually it has to be plugged into your vehicle. You could probably plug your dash cam into like a separate power bank. Oh, that's so funny that the tax is more than the charge. So I'm just going to read the author's note on from the book The Masonic Fuckery and the Girl Born on Friday the 13th, an Illuminati expose of anarchy, mayhem, ritual abuse, gang stalking, and targeted individuals by Shonda Elday. And I read the beginning of the book also on the live, like probably a month and a half ago. And I have not gotten back to this book, but I'll read the author's note because we're, towards the end of the evening here. The author's note, this is from the desk of Shonda Elday. This book was never written to entertain, it was written to expose. Everything you read here is part of a larger pattern of silence, betrayal, and organized deception that reaches back centuries. My own journal into this truth was not voluntary. I was pulled into it through targeting, manipulation, betrayal, and violence. What began as isolated experiences became undeniable when the same names, symbols, and systems kept showing up again and again. I did not write this because I needed attention. I wrote it because I survived. And survival gives you vision. It strips away the illusions. It makes you see what others are afraid to look at. This is not about theory. This is about lived experiences, mine and thousands of others who never got the chance to speak. To the victims of gang stalking, government abuse, medical betrayal, ritual exploitation, and systemic erasure, this book is for you. To the whistleblowers who are discredited, defamed, and discarded, this book is for you. To the ones who still wonder if they imagined it all, you didn't. The patterns are real. The blueprint is ancient, and the damage has been generational. If you found your story between these pages, then you're not alone. You're part of a larger spiritual awakening that terrifies the very people who built these systems in the first place. You are not broken. You are not cursed. You're simply awake in a world designed to punish awareness. We were never supposed to survive, but we did. And now the truth belongs to us. This is a call to action. This is the moment they feared. If you made it to the end of this book, then you already know the truth didn't die, it was buried, hidden beneath layers of religion, government, institutional lies. But buried truth still echoes, and once it resurfaces, it cannot be contained. This is not the time to stay quiet. Speak openly. Share what you've learned. Pass this book on to somebody who needs to know they're not alone. The programs being exposed here are not fictional, rare, or accidental. They're systemic and they're ongoing. Support real whistleblowers. Reject the polished agents of misdirection who pretend to help while protecting the abusers. Follow the voices who have lost everything, not the ones with polished platforms and vague warnings. Real truth is raw. It costs you everything. Continue the research. This is part of a larger expose that includes documentation of gang stalking operations, federal, state complicity, financial targeting, legal manipulation, and the spiritual roots of global control. Look deeper, study the names, trace the money, trust your instinct. Stay connected. You can find resources, redacted records, personal updates, and future releases of my official sites and author pages. You are not crazy, and you're not imagining it, and you're not alone anymore. Hi, Jackie. Welcome. We were the ones they tried to silence, and we're still speaking. Let's see. Hi, Monaghan. Yeah, it's a creepy voice. I've got, third party interference. It's the creepy voice, the psyop, the annoyer. When you say changing language, you've said this repeatedly. Are you saying changing the words used? Your ear started ringing. You don't have on site interference. Right, Joe mentions it's a matter of time until this program gets acknowledged and dislodged and destroyed. The question is when. It's there are too many people involved. It's too profitable. It's like the Epstein files. I don't know. I'm going to say that the targeted individual program is on par with the Epstein files. And we don't even know half of what is in those files. They're only disclosing or showing us what they want us to see and no more. But nevertheless, common folks, YouTube creators, are combing through those files and they're using the information found there on their platforms. Automat says we used to be such a wimpy town, and now we have all these aggressive peeps. Yep. Music is big behind this, probably television as well. Meaning the music profession? Yes, there are a lot of podcasters speaking out about it because they realize also that people are fascinated, they want to know, but most people are not going to sit down and read those files. So there are a lot of people reading them and digesting the information and creating videos about it. And those videos, people speaking out about it, placing it in lay language, those channels are going to explode. That information, they will get a lot of views on those videos. Let's see. We are category 3, domestic terrorists. I'm pretty sure you've listened to music many times and it only gave you that. No, that's not true. I don't listen to music unless it makes me feel good, unless I like it. There's music that will come on like on YouTube or whatever, and it's like I've got to click that off. I can't listen to it. Well, they won't have to go too far to locate the real terrorists. They're the ones stalking you and I. They're every sheriff in this country. Senators, congressmen, lawyers. Let's see, they got you hooked and that's bad, like you related when you're not. Let's see. Don't listen to English music if you're a target. Okay. Oh, you can hear it. Hi, Nicholas. Welcome. Welcome. Yes, that's a creepy voice. It used to be like when I first started doing the live streams, the creepy voice would show up like in the middle somewhere, like around the hour mark. And then it started showing up around the 20-minute mark. And now it's like as soon as I start the channel, it's there. If anybody could make out the words, yes, he is talking. I just don't know what he's saying. If anybody could make it out, I mean, maybe, if I played back the chat, I've tried it though. I've tried playing back the chat and slowing it down. Okay, hi, Nick. There's a book called The Most Dangerous Game, written in 1924, about a Russian aristocrat who hunted shipwrecked sailors for fun. Oh, the creepy voice got loud after you said the sheriffs are fat here. They are fat. They're fat around the country. Well, no, not all of them, but they need to like lose some weight, get healthy. I gave the videos to look out for Charlie. Like he's aware of it. Play it backwards. The occult loves creepy voice backwards. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, too many donuts. I don't know. I don't think most of the people around here are healthy. I saw that about the creepy. I think it's a mechanical voice. It's sort of like a V2K recorded weird voice. Paul Blart. I don't know who Paul Blart is. Ever try getting a donut when you're going through a drive-through that suddenly flips up? No. No. Oh, your state cops are fit? Yeah, I think our state cops are too. The Kentucky State Police are too. But actually, some of our local police are fit, and the cops in New Jersey were all fit. They all went to the gym. They all had gym memberships. The cops at the donut shop say, "Where?" Oh, you're too funny. Walk like an Egyptian. Way, way, I think most people gain weight during the winter time. There's no sun, you're stuck inside, eating more stuff, not burning it off. And plus, the energy weapons don't help. These energy weapons impede your digestion, your circadian rhythm, which affects, whether or not you lose and gain weight also. None of what happens to us is helpful in that area. I'm going to read a little bit. I mean, before the live ends, let's see. Most cops are fat. I wouldn't want an overweight person to have my six seriously. Well, I think this is why some of them employ weapons so quickly in encounters because they could not outrun some of their victims. That's what I think. So I'm going to read a little bit, just like a few paragraphs from John Hall's Guinea Pigs about surveillance on page 71. Surveillance of the chosen target closely follows selection. The surveillance phase differs from the stalking phase in that during the surveillance phase, the target is unaware that is occurring. Once selected, the target is extensively surveilled through multiple means, which include background checks, credit checks, mail tampering, email hacking, direct observation, both physically and electronically. Surveillance accomplishes several important goals that are integral to the success of the remainder of the operation. It allows the perpetrator to accurately determine the target's daily living activities. Most importantly, where they live, work, bank, how they spend their leisure time are quickly assessed. The people they spend the majority of their time with are identified and scaled in order of importance. For instance, highly valued circumferential targets would include the target's close family members, supervisors, physician, clergy, and anyone else they may spend substantial time communicating with. This allows the perpetrators to know with reasonable certainty who the target will confide in once they are aware of their targeting. During this phase, the target's social status is ascertained with regard to their relationships with loved ones, neighbors, coworkers, supervisors, and others. Any participation in taboo behavior, drug use, excessive alcohol intake, domestic violence, infidelity, pornography are especially noted and followed up on very closely. All the data collected during this phase will be used to control, mislead, defame, and isolate the target. Also, during this phase, the perpetrators will often have neighbors, coworkers, and relatives assisting them with the surveillance. This is usually accomplished by misleading those individuals who think they're assisting with a legitimate law enforcement investigation. So they're lied to. They're lied to, saying that it's a legitimate law enforcement investigation when it is not. That's how they get your family to help them. They're lied. They're lied to. In one instance, the private investigative agency perpetuating the surveillance identified themselves to a target's neighbor as FBI agents, so they lied, complete with fraudulent identification badges. One would be very surprised at the number of people who fall for this ploy without even asking for appropriate identification or contacting the alleged agency to inquire if the surveillance is legitimate. Ignorance of the laws, both nationally and at the state level, regarding surveillance and the right to privacy make this a very effective ploy. The successful application of this technique by the perpetrators will later legitimize the defamation phase and protect them from the possible arrest during the stalking phase. With the neighbors believing that they're assisting with an investigation by a legitimate agency, they're more apt to believe the defamatory remarks they're told about the target. Moreover, they're less likely to call the police and report the vehicles they see parked in front of the target's home throughout the night. Well, that's true. Stalking of the target is the natural extension of the surveillance phase. This phase differs from the surveillance phase, is usually unknown to the target, while the stalking phase is done with full awareness of the target. In current literature, the stalking phase of this type of victimization is usually described as gang stalking, organized stalking, or cause stalking. Gang stalking and cause stalking are inaccurate descriptions in that they imply either secret gang involvement or some grandiose reasoning behind the stalking. Organized stalking is probably the most accurate description, reflecting the highly organized and methodically planned out form of stalking that these victims experience. The methods involved are directly adapted from COINTELPRO, the operations run by the FBI in the 50s and 60s against groups seen as radical elements. The tactics include total inundation of the target's home, and whenever they may go, breaking and entering of their domicile, and physical harassment and intimidation. Electronic harassment is used during this phase with regard to email tampering, computer hacking, cell phone spoofing, and cyberbullying. More exotic forms of electronic harassment are covered as part of the attack phase, but may be present in any phase of this type of victimization. So I'm going to, just end there because I think I have a lot of this read on my channel in various videos, and it's midnight, so we're going to be ending in a minute or so. Yes, they're rats. Law enforcement, equitable sharing. Sheriff is a Fed contractor. Did someone mention that there was a shootout that happened somewhere? I don't know. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Yes, if they live in the area, then they employ your family and friends. Well, I hope everybody was able to communicate with each other. And if you do have a URL, a link to your YouTube channel, you can post it now. TG says, praying the blood of Christ over every person here. Godspeed. Well, thank you, everybody. For every targeted person, there needs to be peace in our lives. There needs to be peace in the world, peace in the universe, and trust that there's a plan. There was a plan for every one of you, for us, for me. The Creator created a plan at the time that you were born, what your destiny would be. They created this for us, these criminals, these losers. But this is not what our destiny was meant to be. This is just another distraction, another psyop. So, on that note, thank you all for joining in the chat, helping the channel grow, communicating with each other, making friends. And I'm going to be signing off now. And thank you again for joining in and your comments. Oh, you're so welcome. And have a good night, everybody. And thank you, Joe, for being a moderator. Thank you. Thank you. Good night, everyone.